Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome back to another episode of Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I am here with the Shooter McGavin version of Clay Thompson. Hello.
What's going on, Eric Cartman?
Oh, good one. That's just mean, dude. That's just mean. You know, people on Twitter, on TikTok, what's up, Albert? They always talk about you being Clay, and you know what? I think Clay would actually be a nicer person than you. I think he is a nicer person.
I mean, he's
probably.
Rich. He's probably not.
But you're just a Mick asshole, you know?
You know what? You being emo right now really fits with the Beanie Mumford and Sons.
We have a good show for you. I have already dealt with Alex enough. I had a golf with him on Sunday, so I'm donezo with this intro. We do have tonight, we want to talk some waiver wires. We are also going to get into a new segment called Real Deal or No Deal, where we discuss some of the players that are just on fire. Are they the real deal? Are they going to keep it up? Can they sustain it? Can Alex sustain his I got nothing. We also want to talk about a little bit of news. We had an injury-filled weekend, which that was a womp womp, which was really disheartening, especially if you're a Browns fan, especially if you just care about people. So we'll start off with news, which is Nick Chubb out for the season, potentially career-ending, altering. I don't know how you would want to phrase it. I think he's a dog, and I think he's got that good mentality that he comes back, but who knows if he's ever the same. He'll be back. I mean, I hope you know that.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, it's the same knee, and that I just don't know how you even repair that.
Yeah, I mean, it's we don't did we even get a confirmation of what exactly happened? They're expecting torn ligaments.
But yeah, they're saying multiple ligaments.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is MCL, LCL, ACL.
Yeah, they repair those all the time, though.
But it's on the same knee that all three were repaired in college, and that doesn't happen all the time. Where you blow out all three. Did
Odell tear his ACL twice?
Tore his ACL, but he didn't tear his MCL and LCL nose.
I don't want to think that it's all that different. I understand.
It definitely is. It definitely is. It's all of your ligaments. You're not just repairing one part of it. Like you're reconstructing a knee. Like here's a brand.
But I don't know how that's different from the first time to the second time. Explain to me if you think there's a difference in what it is.
I think you're more prone in general to re-tear an ACL, but I think if you tear...
I don't think that's true. I just asked Paul about this. He said that his ACL is at the strongest that it could ever be right after having reconstructed the ACL.
Is that the first time he tore his ACL?
Yeah.
I mean, leg injuries can ruin careers, and ligament tears can do that.
Again, I'm with you on that. I just think that nothing about this is shaping up to be good for Chubb. And people defy odds all the time, but
for sure,
yeah, it sucks. It really does.
Gruesome.
Saquon Barkley left the game at the very end with a what's being called an ordinary sprain, which is an odd phrase of it in general. What kind of implications, what kind of worry does this give you moving forward with Barkley?
I think he's probably out 2 games. And I think I forget who they play in like 3 or 4 weeks. But I think it does affect him. We've seen him have, ankle issues before, and it usually takes him a while to get back up to speed after it.
I think it takes. I mean, it's
anyone.
Sprains are bad.
It's a sprain. Yeah, it's a sprain, and I think it's a high ankle sprain, but they're not making it seem like it's a very severe high ankle sprain. But I'm like, sounds like it's a high ankle sprain, so it's gonna be messed up.
They've made a very weird point to make this sound like they keep bringing up this ordinary sprain.
Yeah.
Like, who calls it that? Why wouldn't you just say a low? Or I think the term is medium, right? It goes low, medium, high.
I think so.
Yeah, like it's such a weird. Like they are trying to like do something weird. They're saying he's game time decision for Sunday. Did you see that as well? Like I think
he's not playing.
Yeah,
just no.
Are you starting either of the other backs? If he doesn't, Matt Breida, I think it's Gary Brightwell.
Probably not.
I don't think I am either.
Yeah,
they are not going to be on our waiver wire edition today. They go against San Francisco next week. Also, just find them not to be. This team is not super exciting right now, and if it's not Barkley, I don't want it. The other pieces of news: Jamal Williams left the game with the hamstring. It sounds, if I had to guess, they're going to put him on IR for expecting they said 3 to 6 weeks, which usually means an IR stint. Oh yeah. Yeah, and somehow they're still
not playing.
Thanks, Albert. There's no way Barkley is playing. Giants have a Thursday night game against San Fran. Even if he plays, I would bench him. Jamal Williams is going to miss some times. I think that's slightly big news, but most likely a player that you've had on your bench. Brandon Ayuk, this was kind of concerning, has some shoulder injury, maybe shoulder soreness. He landed on it wrong. Is a limited practice participant in Tuesday's practice, was a non-participant in yesterday's practice, which I think was just an estimate. Does that concern you a little bit?
A little bit.
Saw T. Higgins deal with shoulder injuries, and it
seems like it's a lingering pain in the butt, but I feel like it play through it. It's just probably going to miss some snaps.
The shoulder is the ankle of the arm. Just a pain in the ass, dude, all season. It might be. That's the part that scares me too. Like I think he'll play this week, but it does, like, it's a pain tolerance thing. It's how the motion, how they could raise their arms up. Again, we saw how this affected T. I think it was 2 years ago now, where he had an AC sprain, AC joint sprain, or something like that, and it really did affect his game. And I don't think Ayuk and T. Higgins are all that similar in how they play. T is obviously making this motion a lot more than Ayuk, in a sense of that's the type of balls that Joe Burrow would throw to him. But Ayuk is still going to have to do that. He's still going to have that motion availability.
If I'm the Niners, I'd probably sit him against the Giants.
I have a feeling they won't.
Yeah, I would.
Do you sit him in your No, it rejuvenated Baker Mayfield's career.
Sorry you guys bailed on him.
How about that offensive line has allowed the least amount of pressures? They can't really rush. They're not doing. Yesterday was fine, or 2 days ago was fine, but they can't really protect for the rush.
But personally,
would you bench Ayuk for Nico Collins? So note this, Albert, before Alex answers. The dude is, if he could, he would have the Nico Collins shirt on already today. So it's Ayuk is playing the Giants, and Nico sounds like, if I'm not mistaken, what Felix just said, is playing the Eagles. Jacksonville. Oh, I think I go Nico too.
Yes.
I also, if you're looking at that concern on week 3 right now, where Nico Collins probably feels a little bit, if you're having that situation, you're well off, Albert. Your team's doing well.
Nico's going to be a beast.
What's up, Willie? Oh God, it's gonna be rough.
Same.
For Baker
I hope
against the
so too,
Eagles.
Felix.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
You guys can watch it, straight from Sleeper app. Watch him going off on my team.
Jesus. All right, let's get into some waiver wire finds. So last week was week 1. Waivers are a little bit more, I don't want to say important, but it really does feel like week 1 is the biggest waiver week of the year. Week 2, you get some confirmation on things. So we're going to go through a couple guys in the QB section, and I'm going to kind of throw them at you, Alex, to get your thoughts on them. And we're gonna talk about some of these guys in general. Let me pull up their roster percentage here from good old Norton's Pictures. Let's talk Jordan Love. Rostered about 60% in Sleeper, 40% ESPN, 77 in CBS. Man, that must be where all the Green Bay Packers fans are. 67 in Yahoo. 396 pass yards through 2 games, 6 touchdowns, no INTs, 56 completion percentage. That's the bad. Needs to fine-tune some things, but it's been solid without his best weapons. QB4 on the year. What are your thoughts for him as a waiver wire addition this week?
Yeah, I would take him, especially if you have guys like Justin Fields or, guys who are outside the top 10. Even a guy like Lamar Jackson.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow
might be out this week is what I'm getting at.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe even for a couple.
Like if you have Trevor Lawrence, this might be something worth monitoring. Like just you keep J Love on your bench, but you need to roster him. Christian Watson's coming back soon, so it's not going to get worse for him. That division's not great. The defense, I think all the defenses in that division are pretty terrible. So Jordan Love could finish top 5 at this rate.
Yeah, again, his completion, I've loved what I've seen out of him. I do want to see him, being a little bit more accurate. I don't necessarily put it all on him either. This is a young offensive core right now.
Yep.
Young offensive core. And he's doing what he needs to do. They did lose last week. But yeah, it's a good start for him. Should I sell Justin Fields for Brock Purdy? Don't know if this is a joke or not, but you absolutely shouldn't. I wouldn't mind if you got a package, somebody give you Brock Purdy plus.
Yeah.
Not doing it. Next on the list, we got Sam Howell, QB 11 on the season, 501 pass yards, 3-1 touchdown interception rate, 66 completion percentage. Is he a good waiver wire for you this week? And again, when we're talking waiver wires, we're talking redraft, 12 teams typically. That's where our
Right.
world kind of goes. We will just, if we're going to talk about something outside of that, 14 or 10, or even dynasty, we will make note of that.
Yeah, man. Washington's kind of being that surprising team, and it seems like they're learning some things and they're starting to hit their stride in certain areas. And Sam Howell is the guy. He's on pace to be a top 15 QB as of right now. I don't know if he finishes that, but he's definitely worth rostering. And depending on the situation that you're in, he might be worth starting.
I think he's looked good.
Yeah,
I think what people are getting lucky about, some of the people that were high on him preseason or off season. People are getting lucky right now because they're like, look at how much he ran in college. He's going to do it again. Look at how much he ran. This dude has ran 4 times on the year.
Yeah.
And he has a rushing touchdown, so that helps. But bailed out because he is balling now. Eric Bieniemy is the maybe the truth. I thought he was there to take over as head coach, and now they're winning, which is saving Ron Rivera another season or whatever. We'll see if it changes. They more surprising to you than the Rams?
Yes. 100%. The Rams still have arguably, top 5 defensive player in the league and top 5 defensive player of all time still playing. Matt Stafford is healthy. The way the ball is jumping out of his hand, it looks like old Matt. And they have Sean.
Okay, even with Cooper Cooper Kupp going down?
Dude, Matt Stafford is figuring it out. He'll find a
right.
way. He's turning somebody into Cooper Kupp B.
Don't answer this question yet, but we'll leave it up as we get to our next waiver wire. Would you start Russell Wilson or Sam Howell in Superflex this week? Our last QB on this list is Russell Wilson. If he's on your waiver wires, I should have his roster percentages as well. 51% in Yahoo, 77 in CBS. Interesting, same number. 61 in ESPN, and only 49 on Sleeper. So, Russell Wilson, QB3 on the year. Big waiver wire for you?
For all my Trailer Park Boys fans out there, I effing a toto so. This guy.
I don't know what that means.
Well, that's for the Trailer Park fans.
Is that supposed to mean I told you so?
Yeah, that's Ricky.
We did not have much Russell Wilson conversation. I was very neutral about him this year. I didn't know what to think, honestly.
I said there's going to be a bounce back year.
Okay.
Sean Payton is there. Now, the defense is not very good, but Russell looks good. He's throwing some really good balls, and if those receivers stay healthy, top 10 QB
What is going
again.
on, dude? Let Marvin Mims free. Let him free.
Dude, it might end up happening.
It's the snap percentage is unreal right now. It scares me, though. Sean Payton likes to take long wide receivers that can run pretty fast. I'm thinking Kenny Stills. I'm thinking there was another one that he had on there.
What do you mean by long? Like tall?
Tall and kind of skinny.
I think Stills was like 5'11".
I thought Stills was a little bit taller, but there's a couple guys that he's put in that role where he just sends them out deep, and that becomes their career arc. And I feel like he's doing that to Mims right now.
No. It
worries me. Those were two deep balls. He hasn't
done that. Sean Payton, he's done it with tall receivers, not burners. Colston was tall, but he was not fast.
He didn't do it with Colston.
Do what? Send it deep?
Not really. Colston was his ex for years.
I'm saying Colston was
only ran 5 routes this week. Thank you, Albert, for that. All right, so going back to this question, would you start Russell Wilson or Sam Howell in Superflex this week?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't need to be on the return. We need him running more than 5 routes. Free Marvin Mims. He is Hims.
He's young. They still got Sutton and Judy running well. So
Sutton's very mid.
I mean, he's okay. But he's big and he gets coverage in red zone. How do you think Mims is getting open for those bombs? It's because Sutton is getting coverage.
Okay, sure it is. I do like Marvin Mims a lot. I don't think we have him in waiver wire fines, but I think we had him last week. I also don't expect him to be out
too soon.
I don't think he's out there in many leagues. Truthfully, I think he was drafted. Let's go to some RBs. We're going to obviously start from the one that needs to be added here. This one's actually probably in order of what needs to be prioritized, I would think. I mean, the first two are definitely 1A, 1B. So Jerome Ford, probably the highest priority of RBs out on your waiver wire right now. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, got to get him. Even if the Browns bring in like a guy like Kareem Hunt. Hunt didn't look great last year. He was getting worse and worse the last year and a half. And Ford looks quick. He's driving, falling forward. He doesn't really have a ton of negative plays. He runs hard. And Stefanski is such a bad coach. They're probably still going to run the same dumb plays and run the ball nonstop and just pray the defense, helps out more than they need to.
I don't think if they trade for Cam Akers, after what I saw with Jerome Ford last night, a huge Pierre Strong believer. What I saw, what he did to that Pittsburgh. Yeah. That's what I was getting to. What I saw from what he did to that Pittsburgh defense, I don't think Cam Akers hurts him. If they trade for him, it hurts Pierre Strong.
Yep.
And I love Pierre Strong. And I thought that I was like, oh, he's going to get in against Pittsburgh Steelers and he's going to go negative yard and Pierre Strong is going to get some work and see what he looks like. Didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Ran 70 yards. I don't think there's much more to add there. He looked really good though. He
Sure.
would be he might be my number one at any position. Jerome Ford, number one.
Yeah, I probably put him at the top. The only thing that would change my mind is if somehow they traded for JT tonight.
I think there's going to be that threat with any team. I think, yeah, unless it happens before tonight, then there's no preventing it.
Not
Kyron,
spend the money.
Kyron Williams, he was on our list last week. I put him as a high priority last week. So if you were watching last week, hopefully you did pick him up. Dude's getting a ton of work. He is getting a ton of work. He had 95% snap count.
Does it all.
It's scary. It's a little bit scary.
It's good.
I don't want 95. 75. I don't think you want 95. I don't think you want 90. Yeah, I mean, maybe I want 95, but the sustainability of it is not good.
Welcome to the NFL, man. 65 isn't going to sustain you. You can still blow your knee out.
You're right. That's true. I guess it is. You're probably right. 5'9", 165 is the 194. Sorry, we'll talk about another guy that's 165.
You talking about Rondale Moore? Who's 5'9"?
There's another 165 guy in here, and the notes aren't even there yet. I guess it was just stuck in my brain. 194, 5'9", 194. That's the concerning part with this amount of work.
Here's my thing. Do you know early in his career what Barry Sanders' height and weight was?
No. Are you saying this is the next Barry
5'9",
Sanders?
200. No, what I'm saying is if you're quick, being 5'9" and around 200 pounds, you've got low center of gravity. As long as you can move, that's good. It's not a bad thing. Now, if you're 5'11" or 6 foot and 195 pounds, it's a little different. You're more upright.
So you're making a lot of cases, but when I read your notes earlier here, it really was like souring. You didn't sound super excited for Kyron.
I mean,
like, because he's my number 2 on the list.
Is he doing anything that is wowing me? No, not really. But he's getting the touches. He's getting he's getting the share percentage. Like, they're gonna feed him. It's one of those situations to where he can have games where he's really inefficient, but might have 25 touches.
I don't think really inefficient is the right phrase for it. He hasn't had a game that he has been really inefficient. I mean, 3.5.
He gets touchdowns.
3.5 and 3.7 yards per carry in both games is not
running.
Amazing. No,
he's not an efficient runner. He's not.
First week was Seattle. Second week was San Fran. I mean, Seattle's rush defense has gotten a little bit better. San Fran's is definitely one of the best in the league.
Right. But if he's a guy who finishes at 4.2 yards or a little over 4 yards per carry and gets that many touches, then it doesn't matter. It's like Najee Harris's rookie year.
Yeah, doesn't
matter.
I think he is number 2 on this list, and I think there's an argument to be made that he's one over Jerome Ford.
He might be a league winner.
He might be. What do you think of Deontay Foreman's situation? Absolutely nothing. You should have.
He is what we thought he was. He was a cheap replacement. They're paying him like $1 million.
Robbie was in love with him. Not so much this season, but
hey, you know what? When you're down 20 points every game and you run the ball, yeah, you're probably going to average 4.5 yards per carry when the team thinks you're going to pass and try to win the game. And that was Carolina last year with Foreman. So coming to the Bears, you suck. He actually does. He's not that great. He's just big.
I think he's not. I think he's a foot out. I think he's a foot out of this offense. I think
they're going to trade him.
I don't think they would even trade him. I think he gets cut. I think is it Travis Homer because they need him for the special teams. And they found out Roshan's good enough to be the number 2, probably the number 1 eventually. He pass blocks better than him. He does everything better than him.
Yeah, there's nothing that Dante Foreman's better at.
Nope.
Besides third guy eating contest. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. The third guy on this list is this like an inside joke that I don't understand?
He's fat.
Oh, is he?
Bro, he's like 240 pounds.
I didn't know he was that big. He's gone through some injuries, man. Zach Moss.
He's listed at just because it is bothering me. He's listed at 6 foot 240. He said he lazy.
That's Derrick Henry size.
Derrick Henry's like 6'4", 240.
Yeah. Yeah, much taller. Next on the list, I have Zach Moss on here as my RB3 to target. RB10 in his first week back. It was against Houston. Dante as big.
That was good, Felix. I had to put that up. It cracked me up.
So Zach Moss was RB10 against Houston. He sees Baltimore next week. Worth rostering, but he has 3 tough matchups coming up: Baltimore, Rams, Tennessee. So you might roster him and then bench him these next 3, and then you're praying that JT gets traded.
You're probably rostering him and you're probably starting him because the NFL running backs this year is a flip of a fucking coin.
I think these matchups are way easier to see coming than you guys make it out to be, but I get what you're saying.
San Fran for sure. Like, there's certain defenses, like Dallas, yes, avoid like the plague if you can. San Fran, avoid like the plague. Baltimore, you could run. The Rams, you could run against them. Like, those things can happen.
98% of snaps. You love to see it.
Got to play him. That's what I'm saying.
We picked him.
Play him.
I would like to see choices. It's like you're saying you got to play him, but we really both should see the choices that are being chosen. Like, he's absolutely a must add. I mean, I don't know if I love dropping Gainwell, but if it was Jerome Ford or Gainwell, I'm going Jerome Ford.
Yeah, if you have to start it, but I mean, you're not.
No, that's your only other dropping person, though.
Oh man,
I would drop
a terrible
Jerome
place
Ford.
to be, I guess.
No, it's not. Yeah, I would rather drop somebody else. I agree.
Right, drop a receiver, man. I know you've got to have some not great receiver on that squad.
Last one I had on here was Kareem Hunt, but neither of us are adding him. So if it's a deeper league, 14, 16, add Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
If it's that size.
Yeah. I think
if you are the guy that gets Jerome Ford, probably a good idea to add him there too.
Yeah, I think Kareem Hunt is like Dante Foreman of third downs.
He's better than Dante.
I don't know anymore. I honestly don't.
Wide receiver waiver finds Mooney. Oh, I would drop Mooney.
Yeah, I would drop Mooney. Easy.
I would drop Mooney instead of Gainwell for.
I might even drop Burks, to be honest.
Hurts. That hurts.
I mean, dude.
It's funny because Burks and London are like the exact same.
Yeah.
But yes, Jerome Ford is a must add, so I would go Mooney. You definitely would drop Mooney for him.
100%.
Wide receivers that we are targeting on the waiver wire. The first one I have on this list, Tutu Atwell. Having kind of it's pretty quiet. I haven't heard much, don't read much. Wide receiver 15 in week 1, wide receiver 31. Okay. In week 2, wide receiver 15 on the year. Looks great. But again, he's a small guy. He's the 165, 5'9" guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to keep, pull the old Clay Thompson here and just talk about size because that's your favorite thing to talk about. But he's a small dude.
I don't hate it in receivers, man. 5'5", 5'6", not loving it. But if you're there's 5'9" receivers who are great in the slot. I think he is the guy who's still going to be putting up numbers when Kupp gets back because Puka is more of, Cooper Kupp build, runs routes. What do you mean? He's
the Robert Woods to Cooper Kupp. He's very much that Rob. Yes, he is.
Who is Puka?
Puka.
How?
He absolutely is. Everything he's doing right now is the Robert Woods role of this offense.
No, he is
the routes he's running.
He is running Cooper Kupp routes.
No.
Let's compare. Robert Woods is probably 6 foot, 190.
We're not going to compare size.
But this is going to get somewhere. So he's 6 foot, about 190 pounds. Probably runs high 4.4s. Runs some slot ins and outs. Isn't really a deep threat. Puka is literally almost the same build as Cooper Kupp. They're almost the exact same speed. They're running very similar routes. They're doing a lot of 15-yard ins, one-on-one stuff outside, to where Atwell is going to be the benefactor of this because he's going to be doing stuff that Puka is not in Cup aren't doing.
No,
They're
I
too
disagree.
similar.
No, they are not. They don't run the same routes. I don't know where you're seeing that.
What do you mean, dude? Do you know what Cooper Kupp ran? Like, what are you comparing? Like, what are you trying to compare it to?
What are you like? I told you what I'm comparing it to. He is Robert Woods.
Explain.
They run very similarly. He takes some shots down deep field. He is not the same size as Cooper Kupp. I'm pretty sure Cooper Kupp's a little bit smaller. Cooper Kupp runs a lot shorter routes. I see him do a lot more over the middle.
No. I don't know what you're watching.
They're exact same height. But that's again, the size is not my point here.
Kupp and Puka are the same model.
Now does first off, we should be saying if Cooper Kupp comes back because nobody knows.
For sure.
Anything. Secondly, you said in chat to me before that what did you say specifically? Because it came out to Puka would still get whatever you said. I took the math and it came out that he would still get 145 targets. I'm happy with that. Puka.
He's not getting 145 targets.
You said it in the chat. That was what you said. You said he's taken 75% of these targets back when Cooper Kupp or he's getting only 75 of his targets. You said it in the Discord. I have it.
It said he's going to get 75 targets.
75% of what he's getting now is exactly what you said.
And that would be
145.
Yeah, then I disagree with what I said.
That
doesn't make sense. There's no way he's
I think you're too low on Puka.
It's not that I'm too low. I think Puka he could lead the league in receptions if Cooper Kupp doesn't play. What I'm saying is I
don't think it's as much as a hit though.
How many if Cooper Kupp comes back, how many targets do you think Cooper Kupp gets a game? At least 10?
It's tough to say. I hear what
Let's
you're saying.
Be realistic.
I know. I'm trying to, but like, how are you realistic when you don't know what the state of his hamstring is for the rest of the season?
What I'm saying is if he comes back, let's say the hamstring is not an issue at this point.
Not an issue.
It's not
realistically,
an issue.
He gets anywhere from 10 to 15 probably.
Okay. So you're expecting Puka to get 10 to 15 in a game?
No. 8 when Cooper comes back.
So
I want him to have 8.
How many is Atwell getting?
Atwell's got quite a bit. $17 so far. So Atwell's getting 8 to 9 right now. 8 and then 9 in week 2. Man, Atwell's got almost 200 yards on the year already too. Oof. Like, look, it's staying with Atwell and Cooper Kupp. You know that Puka right now is their guy.
Because Cooper Kupp's not there.
Yeah, no, and it will come back to Cooper Kupp. I understand that, but I think Tutu is the one. I know what you're saying, how he's like a deep ball threat, but honestly, he's getting a ton of targets too. 6 for 119, 7 for 77. Like his yards per catch is 11. His yard per target on
he does everything. He's doing what Cooper Kupp did. They're doing long outs, long ins. They're going outside.
That was Tutu is what I was talking about.
I mean, so what's Puka? What's Puka again? 15?
Who would you drop over to? I don't think Watson's droppable yet, but I can understand where you're coming from. But if it's
it depends. If you have a super flex, you're not dropping. But if you're not, you're in a redraft. I'd probably just keep Danny Jones.
Who? I think I seen this, and he was the one that made me believe that he is Robert Woods.
There's nothing that shows me that Puka is like Robert Woods.
I'm pulling up the reception perception from Matt Harmon right now. It's going to take a second to load. Oh, I don't think we could see this, Norton. I don't think we could see much of this. Only lined up in the slot, 30% of snaps, played everywhere, comfortable running big boy routes versus man coverage, specializes in breaking McVay staple routes. Exactly the player I described in his pre-draft write-up, which I can't pull up. Lastly, we know the Rams have been ahead of the curve as an organization. Oh, here it is. But should we be looking into the fact that they may have perfectly cloning with this Robert Woods double they have now?
I don't see it. There's nothing I've seen that shows me like Robert Woods. They're different players. Like they run different. Robert Woods is faster, he's quicker, and he's smaller. And he was
again.
You're completely different.
It comes down to size, and he's talking about like specific. This dude charts receivers. Have you read reception perception ever? Have you ever looked at it?
Here's the thing.
Like this dude watches every route of every wide receiver. Every route. I feel like you're arguing against what I would call the wide receiver whisperer in the field right now.
I don't have the source, but there's multiple sources of writers who are literally saying the exact same thing and that about Puka. There's nothing that shows me he's like Robert Woods. Like Robert.
All right,
Woods,
well, I'll show you what he has written up.
But
we'll take this off.
If you base it off of one season, his last season at the Rams, sure. But during half of his seasons at the Rams, Robert Woods was a deep guy, averaging 14 yards per catch.
Norton, if you're still watching, we're going to need some more resources. But back to Tutu Atwell. So you think he carries more of a role if Kupp comes back this season?
Yes. I think Atwell gets targeted more than Puka when Kupp gets back, realistically. That's what I think.
I completely disagree, but I do find Tutu Atwell to be a great waiver wire addition. I love what they're doing with him behind the line of scrimmage. They took the McDaniel approach. They're starting his run. They're putting him in motion, running him out. Have you seen any of those?
Yeah, I like Atwell. He does more.
All right.
He does more. He does more different. He does different things than Puka does that translates better.
I mean to get you all fired up, man.
No, I'm just saying, like, from watching the game, if I'm not, that's the thing. Sometimes we play Moneyball way too much instead of just watching. Even if you're looking at snaps or the routes ran percentage, basing it off 2 games when they're running a different style offense, they're scheming different. Like, it might be the exact same offense, but they're scheming different with the players that they have. What I'm saying is the way Puka does run his routes, they both are 4'6", 40 guys. They're both 6'2", 205. They're the same agility. They're running very similar routes to where
but
Atwell
like 2 of 3
more.
of those points that you're bringing up, again, go back. You just said 2 things of size. Like, okay, they're the same size. That doesn't mean that they are the same player.
I'm not saying they're the same player, but
well,
they
that's
run
2 of the 3
more
points
similar
that you're
than
just
what
making.
Robert Woods. I don't see, just because if you're looking at just the route, they ran more routes on this one. It's because of the people they had, and you're comparing it to Robert Woods. It's like, well, yeah, we're going to run these certain type of routes with him just for the time being, but that's not his style. Like it's not.
So if you had to come down to it, are you holding? Say this was your decision: Tutu Atwell or Puka Nacua? I hope I'm saying his last name right.
I would take with Kupp in. I'm taking Atwell. I am.
Oh, give me Puka all day. All day, with or without Kupp, Puka.
Yeah, I'm taking Atwell.
Dynasty, redraft, everything.
Nope.
We've seen Tutu for 2 years now, right?
3
years?
I like Puka. I'm just saying, from what I've seen, it reminds me of like Cooper Kupp B. That's what it looks like to me.
I think Tutu's the one that loses a little bit of work here. Second on the list I had is Tank Dell as a wide receiver waiver find. He was wide receiver 19 this last week. We know he has a rapport with Stroud. Stroud apparently pushed for him in the draft to draft. He pushed the Texans to draft Dell. What are your thoughts on Tank Dell?
I like him. I think he is the number 2. Stroud is on pace to be top 5 in the league in passing attempts. So I think he's definitely someone you probably need to roster. Stroud is looking better than I think most people thought, including myself. It would be really hard if he's available not to put him on there unless you have Nico Collins on your bench already.
I think Tank Dell is a nice DFS play this week too. Oh man, I'm getting sweaty. I think I got to take this beanie off. I guess I'm too hot, man.
You're inside. Just want to let you know that.
You have a hat on.
Okay, but it breathes. It's got holes and shit.
That doesn't change anything. You're inside.
You put a giant sock on your head and you're confused why you're sweating.
Well, I have a hoodie on too.
Oh, geez. What are you in Minnesota in December?
Minnesota. I got some sweats on too. So, I think Tank Dell would be. We got to kind of get to our real deal or no deal. So I think Tank Dell is a great pickup this week. I think he's somebody you're kind of not going to push right into your starting lineup. Probably not. We need to see a little bit more, but I think he might be a dynasty trade target. I don't know now that game 2 happened. Not a very big receiver. Actually, probably one of the smallest in the league.
He's like 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah, and real skinny.
He's
Real
little. He's fun to watch though.
5'10", 165. So he's taller.
Oh, that's not that bad.
But 165? Woo!
Devontae Smith was 165 his junior year in college. Who cares?
Isaiah Hodgins is my last one. Alex, what's your thoughts on that?
You like what I wrote down? Basically, for everyone who's listening, the notes I write down for podcasts, I just put in so Mario can read them. I don't even say it. I just get the joy of Mario reading my stupid notes. Yeah. I don't care about Hodgins. I don't want any receiver on this team unless his name's Waller. That's it.
I think if you have droppable players, like would you rather have Hodgins or Mooney?
Mooney.
Really?
Yeah.
That actually kind of surprises me.
I think Isaiah Hodgins is okay, but there's nothing that I'm like I really want it. There's a bunch of other players I would rather get this
He had a fine end of last season last year. I don't know why you hate him so much.
I mean, they had every receiver on their team was injured at the end of last season, but
yeah, that's really not going to change that much. These guys, I mean, guys like Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, they all.
What's Hodgins ranked right
Paris
now?
Campbell?
I don't even know.
It's not great.
Was it like 40th?
I would say that's generous.
Yeah. Why are we even talking about it?
Because I think these are the guys that you watch. Tank Dell is lower than him, I think. Wide receiver 61 on the year right now.
He's got 5 catches. That's what we're talking
He's
about.
higher than Jahan Dotson right now. Like, I mean, I
moved Jahan Dotson up on our rankings this year.
Here you go. He's higher than Alan Lazard currently.
Well, Lazard.
That's because Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah. Zach Wilson is right now.
He's higher than Paris Campbell. All right, so tight end waiver wires that we are looking for.
Paris Campbell.
We have just 2 here, and these were both on the show last week, so we're just going to double down because their roster percentage is still not very high. Hunter Henry, this is your guy.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how much you were in on him on fantasy, but he's definitely a Pats guy.
Yeah, I have him in a few leagues as my backup, especially because in 2 of those leagues I have Darren Waller. So you never know injury-wise.
He's outperformed Darren Waller both weeks.
Yeah, but
on your bench.
I know. I know. And guess who I'm good as?
That is so much pain right there, dude. Oh my god. That hurts so bad.
You know what I'm probably going to do again is start Darren
Waller.
Go start Darren.
At what point do you flip the switch? If Hunter I guess it's got to be this. If Darren Waller puts up another, let's say 5 for 60, well, that's it, no TDs. And Hunter Henry does another 5 for 55 and a touchdown this week 3. Does it flip finally? I mean, Max throwing the shit out of the ball. He's first in attempts at 96.
Yeah, I'm stubborn, so I'm
gonna. You're just gonna ride this ship down, dude, huh?
This is the way I look at it. Is I'm a typically with a lot of things. I'm a first 4 games. of the season guy. I don't make major trades until after the first 4 games. I just got to see it. Sometimes it takes teams to make adjustments or make changes. If I see
these are your
Hunter
defensive
Henry,
adjustments.
if I see him getting like 8 to 10 targets every single game and he's scoring in half of those, yeah, I'm probably and Darren Waller isn't gonna. If I don't see him getting 10 to 12 targets a game, then yeah, I'm probably gonna put Hunter Henry in at some point.
The encouraging part, 79% snaps the first week, 92% of snaps the second week, 6 targets week 1, 7 targets week 2, 50 yards in both games, 5 receptions in the first, 6 in the touchdown both games. Like, I mean, some of this stuff is going to regress, but like what you're looking for there is targets. 13 targets
consistent. Yeah,
he's 2 weeks consistent. Is great for a tight end. You would
roster him. Somebody,
start him over certain guys that you probably had.
starting
him over Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, he's a top 10 guy right now. So
I saw a dynasty poll today, Alex. You ready for this? Because this was our guy. It was Sam Laporta or Kyle Pitts.
At this point,
in dynasty,
I'm taking Laporta,
and that was 51% of everybody.
Yeah, I was so high on
1,400 votes. 1,400 votes.
Poor Pitts, man. Imagine being a team that drafts 3 years in a row offensive weapons, and then you're going to use one of them.
Have to have the threat, Have to confuse the defenses.
What do you?
They're trophies. Have to confuse them.
Every defensive
we might throw to them.
Dyslexic.
We got a game.
Oh no, they're out there. Desmond Ritter's gonna throw it this time.
No, I do think there's some value in the sense of like if they don't have something in plan for Kyle Pitts or Drake London, I think Arthur Smith exposes that. I think. No comment. Last person on our waiver wire, and we're just going to do this real quick. He was a high tight end priority for me. Kind of getting a little bit nervous. Jake Ferguson. It looked like Luke Schoonmaker, the second round rookie, is getting more snaps.
Yeah, like I told you was going to happen.
Getting more, not more than Ferguson, getting more weekly.
Yeah.
And Ferguson's decreased quite a bit from week 1 to week 2, which is also odd because it was a little bit closer than week 1 was. A little bit.
Yeah, I think we had an episode where we were talking about tight ends, and we talked about Dallas's 2 tight ends they had on the squad before they got Schoonmaker. And I said it would not surprise me if Schoonmaker led rookie tight ends. Wouldn't surprise me if he finished really high. I didn't see anything in Ferguson to where I think Schoonmaker is going to end up being the guy. Now, I don't love Dak, but he's the tight end there.
Somebody preseason said, what if Jake Ferguson is who was the guy in front of Dalton Schultz? Do you remember his name? Blake Jarwin.
Oh, yeah.
They said, what if Jake Ferguson is the next Blake Jarwin? And it could happen very soon. It may take a year, though. I'm not advocating to pick up Loon Schoonmaker in redraft right now.
He's a tight end. He's not a top 10, so don't even worry about it.
I do think with all of that being said, I still think it's worth rostering Jake Ferguson.
Nope.
In redraft.
Nope.
Tight end. Yep. There's too many injuries in tight end right now.
Nope. What is Ferguson?
He's getting targets.
He's tight end 16. He's got 11 targets.
That's good.
Dude, you want to see something? I think out of anybody who's got over 10 targets, he's got the lowest yards per reception. 4. Yeah. Like, why do you want that? Yeah, he's getting targets. Well, when he's catching it, it's a shorter distance than his height.
He played the Jets. They barely threw on week 1. They didn't have to throw against the Giants. All right. We got 10 minutes to play. Real deal or no deal. I don't know the theme music, or else I would start doing it. Do 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 do. That's. Oh, is that it?
No.
So what this segment is, we're gonna do real deal or no deal. What the segment is where we talk about if a player, and we are now skipping Puka because that discussion has been had And I think yours is a no deal. Like, I think you said no deal on Puka, right?
With Cup in, I think he's a flex play at best.
Okay. In Dynasty, is there some love there?
Yes. Cup is 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Stafford being old?
They'll figure it out.
Trust the organization. Okay.
Yeah.
So real deal or no deal essentially is saying, do we think this stays up? Do we think this continues? This hot start, this great guys we weren't expecting to be where they are currently. So with that being said, with Puka, Alex is saying he thinks a flex at best while Koopa.
What is this, Mario Brothers?
Well, Coop is out. I think he's more than that. I think he is the real deal. But again, we're going to skip that discussion because that discussion was mostly had earlier in the show. The next person, another Ram here, also another, we can kind of go quickly on this because we really discussed him in pretty big detail. Kyron Williams, real deal or no deal?
Real deal. Getting snap percentage, and he's going to get a ton of touches. Yeah. It's not the worst offense either. So,
and he's like you said, I think there hasn't been anything wow yet. But there hasn't been anything that's like, oh, that's not good. He catches the ball. Yeah. He hits the holes. Like we watched Cam Akers not do that.
He could have like a no Sean Moreno season with Peyton, where he's not great, but the rest of Stafford's getting it out, and it's just going to be a lot easier. He doesn't have to be that efficient. Just in the red zone, be efficient, and he has been.
Yeah, I mean, he already has 4 touchdowns on the year. 3.
That's all you need.
That's insane. That's insane.
Touchdowns are king.
I'm more in line thinking, and I know, and I'm not saying he is a comparable player, so don't take it. But this dude could have a Todd Gurley-like season, touchdown wise. He's 3 touchdowns. I think it may be 4, Alex.
I won't argue touchdown wise that I think
it's 4 touchdowns already. Like technically that's a 4 times. We won't do that. 4 times 9, 36 touchdown pace. 4 times 8, 32.
It's probably going to happen too.
No, and I'm not even calling for a 25 touchdown, but I mean,
I think he can get 15. Year? I think he can get at least 15.
And 15 automatically puts him in the top 12, right?
Correct.
Real deal.
Yeah, real deal.
Real deal or no deal? Nico Collins. Everybody in the world, if they watch this show, knows what you're going to say here.
Him and Stroud go together like lamb and tuna fish.
Oh, you actually read your note, huh?
Nico's my guy. I've been swearing on him, and it's finally paying off.
Year 3, right?
Year 3.
Breakout season. Yeah.
It is. It's breakouts. It's crazy to think that when you hear them talking about him on the field that he's the speed guy. He's 6'4", running a 4.4 and getting jump balls. It's a freak. He's a freak.
Yeah. Fifth or 6th round pick or earlier?
I think he was a 5th round pick.
Man, Michigan wide receivers just get
Jim Harbaugh doesn't know how to utilize them.
Bladed to the back of the draft.
Yep. DPJ, another one.
Should have came to OSU. Could have been a stud. Could have been a stud a lot earlier. He could have had.
I don't think Urban wanted Nico. Urban wanted DPJ. I don't think he wanted Nico.
I don't even know where you'd find that information. But yeah, I also think he's a real deal.
All in my mind.
I think he's looking good. I think you're getting a combination of actual production, good QB play, and not great QB play yet, good, and a lot of passing attempts. I mean, that's a dream come true. That's the Puka. I mean, but better QB play at this time.
Yeah.
This one got thrown on here, and we may get too caught up on this guy. Oh, Lord. Real deal or no deal, Joshua Kelly?
Things were going good, I guess.
Yeah, so, I guess we could talk about this in the sense of redraft, and I don't know. This is tough, because obviously when Eckler comes back, Do you even roster Joshua Kelly still? Does he get dropped?
What do you mean? Are you rostering Joshua Kelly? He did. Let's put things in perspective. I definitely thought Kelly would do better, but we talk about defenses all the time, Sleepy Eyes, and and Titans had the second best rush defense coming into that game.
Yeah,
It showed. This is my thoughts on it. Is you're starting Kelly regardless if you're playing a bottom third rushing defense, especially with Eckler out. If Eckler
we sure do, Albert. We sure do. He's a great one for this list.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, you're rostering Kelly. You're not dropping him. He's still Eckler's handcuff. They did go against a really good defense, and he did get he got the touches. He got the snap percentages, which is what you want to see.
Do you think there's some sort of real deal in Dynasty with Joshua Kelly?
Honestly, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Sure.
No. This is a no deal. I can understand. Here's the one point that I can understand and hear you out on. Absolutely hold a roster him. That's fine. Have your Eckler handcuff that is going to produce you 13 points max on a week. He's a thumper. He's a plotter. He doesn't run that great. He doesn't hit the holes that great. He's not that fast. He's not that good. He doesn't earn as many targets as Austin Eckler does. It's seen every week.
Receiver, basically.
I get it, but that's like people keep putting out these like opportunities and they're like, look at all the opportunities Eckler gets. And they're like expecting Kelly to get these targets and it just doesn't happen. He got the same game that you're referring to where he played well in, which was week 1. He got 1 target and 9 routes ran or something like that. Eckler's was like, I wish I had the number on me, but it was a ton more targets earned on his routes run. I think it was like something like ×2 or ×3 of them out.
I mean, he had 5 targets, 4 receptions that game for Eckler. I'm not saying Kelly's Eckler, he's not. But what I'm saying is that with Eckler out,
27, I think 27 routes ran, and he earned 5 targets.
I don't expect Eckler production. What I am saying is when Eckler is out and they're not playing a phenomenal defense, if they're playing a not great defense, I think I'm still going to start him confidently.
Are you buying him in Dynasty?
Yeah, I'm having him in Dynasty.
No, are you buying?
Depends. Whatever. It depends on what the price is.
I feel like if Alex is in your Dynasty league, sell him Josh Kelly if he doesn't already have him.
Right now, people are still selling Kelly really high.
High in Dynasty? What's high in Dynasty?
Probably a second rounder.
That's disgusting. There's no way I would ever give a second round for Joshua
Kelly.
I
agree. I wouldn't right now. But if you give me another... Here's the thing. They don't want to pay Eckler. They're not looking at Eckler as a long-term solution.
I hear
Kelly is younger than Eckler. And if he does have a good season, which the Chargers at the end of last season did say that they were going to get him more involved, they are getting him more involved. They got him involved with Eckler when he was healthy in week 1. That there's a chance that if he plays well enough, Eckler will be gone and Kelly could be the starting running back.
He's a free agent next year.
They could get him a lot cheaper than Eckler.
Well, yeah, that's obviously true. But I think they might draft somebody.
They probably will do both.
All right.
Welcome to the NFL.
This is
teams with good running backs still draft. Algier last year was an above-average running back. They still drafted Bijan Robinson.
Joshua Kelly is going to get replaced. They will draft somebody.
Yeah, and he could. But
they have a sneaky diamond on their bench, Elijah Dotson.
No, shut up.
Diamond in the rough.
No,
he's Eckler. Eckler was a diamond in the rough.
Bro, Eckler is only Eckler. Nobody's been Eckler. Nobody will be Eckler.
All right. I will hear you. I get you. But Dotson was undrafted.
Drafted running back, leading fantasy for 3 years. Yeah.
Take your Josh Kelly real deal plotter,
real
thumper. No deal for Kelly.
Real deal.
Our next on the list, real deal or no deal, Brian Robinson.
This is a real deal, and I hope you have nothing dumb to say about it.
I don't have a ton of thoughts on this, but when I watched him last year, because he looks better this year. Last year, I was convinced he was not. Obviously, coming back from a major incident, was shot.
Yeah.
Oh my
times.
gosh! Put this in your pocket, and then catch your
Me
pocket.
and Norton
pocket
agree more often than me and you agree. So I'll just let you know that.
Norton, and all of you guys just hate me. Let's just put it like that.
Well, because you look like you're going to an Arcade Fire concert on a podcast.
You guys, how was you guys agreeing Josh Kelly as a start this year or week? How was your 3.9 points? That's not. This is
how
not
much were the
that,
tickets to the front row of the Green Day concert?
All right, we're just gonna go for that instead of the actual answer. How did that 3.9 taste? I think Brian Robinson might be the real deal here, dude. Like he's running well. Yep. The enemy is using him way better than Ron Rivera ever did. I can't even remember who their offensive coordinator was last year.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But he looks good. Gibson is a non-factor.
Exactly. It's not this weird split back. Like, let's just have a stud.
Yeah.
Although Gibson is out on the field. Yeah.
Yeah, they're using Gibson's going to spell Robinson, and he's going to run some routes. But Robinson looks better. He's a true running back. He's looking really good. And like I said, I said this last year with higher hopes of Carson Wentz. And through the first 4 weeks, I looked like a genius. And then Carson Wentz became Carson Wentz the rest of the year. But this team, to me, in the division that they're in, could be a sleeper team. If they make the playoffs this year, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'd be shocked.
I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
I mean, you're competing with the Eagles, the Cowboys, and you're likely competing with.
You're not competing with the Giants.
I'm not worried about the Giants, but it would have to be the other wild card.
The Eagles don't look as good as they did last year.
They have to play the Eagles twice and the Cowboys twice.
Yeah, I think
I don't think they beat them. I think they go 0-4 in those games.
No, I don't think so.
Yes,
I think they win at least one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Against who?
Patriots almost came back and beat the Eagles. The Eagles aren't the Eagles last year.
The Eagles weren't like they're not. Their defense might be better.
What are you talking about? No, they're not. They had a top 5 defense.
I think it's a slow start. I don't think they.
It could be. I'm basing it off of what I've seen
this year. Games.
I think
there's not a chance.
But
I do like Robinson. Brian Robinson is absolutely the real deal.
Yes, start him every week.
All right. I'm biased on this one. I will openly admit it. Jordan Love, real deal or no deal?
Real deal.
Man, that brings a tear to my eye.
Real deal. I'm not.
Looks good.
I think Aaron Rodgers went from a good coach to a not so great coach, and people are starting to realize Green Bay actually has a very good coach.
It was like half of my point of like Jordan Love. Like, I'm not going to die on the hill about what he did at college. He had one bad year, one great year. This guy knows how to use his quarterback.
Yeah.
LaFleur knows how to coach. He has a good scheme. He's getting to call his plays for once.
It's okay if you're not like his completion percentage right now is very similar to Jalen Hurts starting in the league. You know, Jalen Hurts was mid-50s, finished high 50s his first year. Obviously, Jalen Hurts runs more, but what is telling is he's throwing the deep ball beautifully, and he's not making very many mistakes. To where his incompletes aren't interceptions. They're not terribly thrown balls. And they get Christian Watson back. You've got to roster him.
And Aaron Jones will help when he's back. I mean, we saw him what he did for Jordan Love in week 1.
Yeah.
Freiermuth versus Laporta and PPR rest of season. So you're going to get two very biased Laporta loves. I think we both had Laporta top 12 in our rankings this year.
Yeah.
So we're both Laporta. I could answer for Alex rest of the season. Especially
that's tough though. Because the Steelers, offensively look shitty besides Pickens.
That's the other half of this is Laporta's just guaranteed. I don't want to say guaranteed 6 targets. And
Yeah.
things may change with Jameson, but he might carve out his own role by then.
I mean,
Josh
right
Reynolds
now
is
we're seeing Jared Goff at kind of how he was last year, and that was missing receivers who are injured. Jared Goff is going to finish the year strong.
Yeah, Jared Goff has looked good. Can't wait to see what a healthy Christian Watson can do. Jordan Love has played a lot better than I expected. Yeah, I really cannot wait for Christian Watson.
Snag Jordan Love, roster him.
I think make a trade for Christian Watson. It's a little bit risky, but if you could get a discount on it.
I agree. I think Christian Watson could. Dude, he's so good.
He is good.
He's so good.
His yards out after catch is just insane.
He's so fast and big.
He made Trey Lance.
Yeah. I've said this, and when I told everybody that Trey Lance was going to be a bust.
Don't even bring it up. Jaden Reed.
Sorry, Brian.
Jaden Reed had 2 touchdowns last week. This one might be this might be too early to predict, honestly. I did throw him in there. It might be too early to predict. He's looked good, though. He's looked good.
Wait and see. I don't know if
I think it's wait and see.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the real deal or no deal.
I don't think he's a real deal. There's injuries.
I think it's too early.
Yeah, for sure. And there's injuries.
Yeah. Oh, to see. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift. So this one's also a little bit interesting because I think we know DeAndre Swift is the real deal. Is the opportunity there, but I'm going to turn it to you. DeAndre Swift, real deal or no deal?
He's a real deal. But I hope the Eagles don't do some bonehead shit like Stefanski and just try to give Gainwell touches because they think for some stupid reason he's better.
I couldn't agree with you more. Just feed Swift.
Yeah. Watching the Browns give Hunt opportunities in positions where Chubb should have had back-to-back years with like 330 carries. And the fact that they were, delegated some to Hunt when Hunt clearly didn't look as good was mind-boggling to me.
I think Swift is great until he gets hurt. I've learned my lesson with him.
So is Todd Gurley.
So is you could say this you could Christian McCaffrey for 2 years, 3 years, whatever it was. I think you kind of just have to act as don't let if you have him don't undersell him to somebody and give him Swift. You charge him for what he's playing as. Yeah,
if your eyes work, you saw how he looked, and it was like when you watched the last game with Bijan having those cuts. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Bijan looks like the real deal." Swift did the same thing. He did. He looked that good. I'm not saying Swift is Bijan, but what I'm saying is Swift looked as good as Bijan last week.
Yeah, we haven't seen a healthy Swift since week 1 of last year.
And even with him being injured last year, he was one of the most efficient running backs, even with him being injured last year.
He was wide receiver 21 on 190 touches?
Yeah, I'm saying, man.
Or running back
was a Heisman Trophy runner-up for a reason.
Yeah, so it's very clear that we're both the real deal here. We probably would roll the dice. Last person, we talked about him already. We're going to make this quick. Hunter Henry, real deal or no deal for this? We'll say for the season.
For the season, yeah, man. The football gods finally blessed the Patriots with somebody who can catch the ball.
Real deal, huh? You think he's Mac's number 1 receiver this year? Number 1 target?
Yeah, probably because
probably is.
Is he Devontae Parker?
Is he leading targets on the team?
I mean, I think he's tied in 2 right now. So he's got 13 targets.
I know. Is he leading on?
That.
Oh, really? Bourne.
Let me see. Let's look at targets.
So there's 96 in here.
20. Yeah. Bourne's leading in targets.
Oh, Bourne's crushing him.
Well, yeah, but he's less efficient. He's got 10 catches on it, and that was also with him having
his deep ball.
Well, yeah, in that first game, Devontae Parker was out. So
I didn't realize that. I didn't know Devontae Parker was out.
Yeah, first game.
Is Hunter Henry second though?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
What did Devontae Parker get week 1?
What did what?
Devontae Parker get week 1? 8 or something? 7?
8. I don't think Devontae Parker
targets.
No.
Or week 2. I'm sorry, week 2.
I think 6 or 7.
My bad. I didn't mean week 1.
That's my guess. He got 8. He was 6 for 8. So that's why I'm like, Kendrick and Devontae are going to be splitting those targets. Hunter still.
You think Hunter gets 100?
Yes, I think he does get 100 targets. I think he could have 85 catches this year.
There it is, guys. The Patriot fan is all in on Hunter Henry. Who would have guessed? We will be back, not Alex and I. We will be back tomorrow with buy and sell targets. Buy and sell targets. We're talking some after week 2 reactions. Thursday, we have our must sit of the week for week 3. Do our DFS lineups. And then Sunday will be, I think it's you and Cody, Alex, on next Sunday Countdown.
What? Oh, yeah. That is
noon,
correct.
At noon.
Me and Much.
So make sure you're tuning in and checking us out there. Alex, any last thoughts?
Hopefully this week we have no crazy injuries. I'm getting sick of seeing really good players go down.
I agree.
Replace the turf, real grass.
Turn off injuries. Turn it off.
Yeah, use the Madden cheat codes.
For Alex, for myself, we love you all. Peace. Thank you for watching our episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
If you aren't already following us on Twitter, check us out at DadBodFS.
We'll be posting all of our best clips and videos to all of our social media: TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on there at DadBod Fantasy Squad.
Lastly, if you'd rather just listen, we make sure we post our audio of each episode on all the major streaming platforms. Stick with us all season long so together